Greetings, Pokemon fans, and welcome back to Polywar's Wrath. My name is JD, and today we're doing a prediction video for an optimized playthrough of Pokemon Crystal using Furret, the long body Pokemon. If you're looking at the screen right now, the one on the left is what Furret always looks like. It's tan and brown, little cute gold guy, and the one on the right, still cute, but it's now pink and white, I guess is what it is. It's like a very, I don't know, pumpernickel white, something like that. And then pink, and it kind of looks like the cat from Alice in Wonderland. And again, it's a pink shiny in Generation 2. I'm not going to dive into that, but we are going to dive into what we did in the previous playthrough. So in the previous playthrough, we beat the Elite Four at 1 hour and 45 minutes and 56 seconds. We are going to obliterate this time by at least 40 minutes. Okay, we're definitely going to destroy this time. This time was not very good. It was like my 5th playthrough, Generation 2. It was also my first normal type Pokemon, so I didn't quite know how to handle normal type Pokemon and what they would come up against. So that's going to be rectified in this playthrough we do this Friday. Let's go ahead and look at what happened with Red. I beat him in 2 hours and 15 minutes and 24 seconds. We will also obliterate this. I think we'll get this done right around an hour and 30, hour and 35 minutes. I think it's spot on for this Pokemon. It doesn't have a lot of great things going for it. Move diversity is pretty much its best asset. And normal types do have a slight advantage when it comes to being able to get their moves boosted because of how early you can get the Pink Bow and how early you beat Whitney's Gym. So there's a lot of advantages that normal types have that I didn't really take advantage of in the first playthrough. But without further ado, let's dive into the ins and outs of this Pokemon. For starters, Furret is, like I said, known as the long body Pokemon, and he evolved from Sentry at level 15. We won't have to worry about evolution. We're starting out fully evolved. That's how we do our optimized playthroughs. And we are normal type, as I said earlier, and we're in the medium fast growth rate, which means we should get levels pretty well. And then one thing I want to point out here is this thing is 5'11". I'm 6 feet tall. So this is a very tall Pokemon, but I really think it's going from tail to head. That's how they're measuring it. So let's move on to the stats of Furret. Furret has 85 HP, 76 in attack, 64 in defense, 45 in special attack, 55 in special defense, and speed is 90, for a grand total of 415 base stat total. This is not horrible. We've definitely done more with less, but it's also not great. There's a lot of stats here that are kind of lacking. Speed is pretty good, HP is okay, attack is meh. And which is good because all normal type moves are physical, but everything else is just garbage. We have a lot of special moves, but we can't really utilize them as well as we'd like because of that low special. I'll give you an example. I'm looking at that special, and I'm confident that with Ice Punch, we're not going to be able to one-shot some Dragonite. We might get some ranges, even with the Never Melt Ice. That's the kind of risk we're having with these kind of stats. As we scroll down a little further, we'll look at our weaknesses and what we resist it to. So normal damage taken by pretty much anything in the game. We're weak to fighting and we're immune to ghost. The fighting weakness I did not handle properly in the first playthrough, so that's something we're going to go over right now. Let's go over to the moveset. The level up moveset with this Pokemon is not very diverse. It's not very broad, but we got to go over it nonetheless. We will start the game with Scratch, Defense, Curl, Quick Attack. Scratch and Quick Attack are both 40 base power, 100% accurate, and they're 60 with stab. Quick Attack is the better move. It has a priority to go first. And with our speed, we can pretty much knock a lot of things out without getting hit back, which is good because we have low defense and low special defense. That's the strategy early. We will have one other move added to this, and I'll go over that here in a little bit. The next actual move we get via level up is Fury Swipes. 18 base power, 80% accurate, and then with stab, this is 27. Now, it hits multiple times, so there is the possibility it can be a very good move. However, to me, it's not worth it. 80% accuracy is bad. And then the next move is no better, Slam. It's 80 base power, 120 with stabs. So that's actually be a solid move if it was just better accurate. If this was Body Slam, no question, I'd use it. But accuracy is 75, and that's not very good. And then we have Rest, which might have some use, so it possibly could get used. And then we have Amnesia. Now, Amnesia is the problem with the previous playthrough. I'm a big Gen 1 junkie. Gen 1 head, I'm an old head, whatever you want to call it. I played Gen 1 all my life. And that, as far back as I can remember, I played Generation 1. In Generation 1, when you use Amnesia, it ups your special by 2 stages. And your special would cover attack and defense in Generation 1. In Gen 2, they split it up. So you have special attack and special defense. Amnesia just ups your special defense. It does not mess with your attack stat at all. And I did not know that. So I played through the whole game thinking I'm boosting my stats, and I wasn't boosting the right stat. I was boosting my defense, but I wasn't boosting the attack stat. And the attack stat, the strategy we had, a lot of things needed to have the attack stat boosted to be effective. And that's why the previous playthrough took so long, because I did not understand this move, which it is what it is. That's why it took so long, and that's why I didn't do so hot in the first one. So it took up a whole slot most of the game trying to do this move, and it just wasn't working. The TM moveset for this Pokemon is pretty broad. Normal type Pokemon usually have a pretty broad moveset in Generation 2. And this was my first normal type, so I'm gonna explain a huge error that I had in this playthrough. But let's go from the top to bottom. Dynamic Punch is the first move we will actually be able to use. 100 base power, 50% accurate. It does work well against like really one trainer, maybe two. If you need against Karen in a pinch, it could work well against Umbreon. However, then you'd have to keep it on your moveset the rest of the game, and use that's not a great strategy. But it does work very well against Red. It makes the Snorlax obsolete. If it hits, it confuses every time. It's just whether it hits or not is the real question. The next move we have access to is Headbutt. Headbutt is a very good move with this Pokemon. 70 base power, it's 105 with Stab, 100% accurate. When you pair this with the Pink Bow, and then when we beat Whitney's Gym, it gets boosted. It's a very powerful move, and also it can make the opposition flinch, and we're very fast. So that'll happen a lot with this move. Curse, roll out, Toxic, not going to use. Now, here's where the second big blunder in this playthrough happened. Hidden Power, we have to counter Fighting type. That's really the only thing we're really weak to. With Fighting type, the best thing to counter that with, I thought at the time, was Psychic. Psychic's not horrible, it's 70 base power, but it's not enough to get the one shot, and also goes off our special stat, not our physical, so that's why it didn't work very well. There's a better one out there, and the better one out there for Fighting type Pokemon is to do Hidden Power Flying. Hidden Power Flying, 1 at 70 base power. It goes off our physical attack stat. It also gets boosted when we beat Faulkner's Gym. Faulkner's the first gym, so obviously it's gonna go from 70 to 77 right away with the 10% boost when beating Faulkner. And then when we pick up the Sharpbeak, it gets another 10% boost. That puts it close to around 85 base power. Much more effective. Like I said, goes off our physical attack stat. That'll really be helpful in taking care of Fighting type Pokemon. Sunny Day, not going to use Snore, Hyper Beam, Protect, Endure Frustration, Iron Tail. Return will be our bread and butter. This is our first normal type Pokemon where we have the stats showing. It looks like the return's going to be very powerful. So it's 102 base power when you max out your friendship. When you add Stab, you add another 51 to that, so it's 153. And then a 10% boost takes it from 153. 10 of 153 is about 15, so it takes you up to 168. And then you get another 10% boost if you have the Pink Bow. So yeah, it's a very powerful move. It's very, very useful with this Pokemon. And as we scroll down a little bit more, we'll get to see the rest of the moves. Dig is not a bad move. It'll be useful against Morty. Shadow Ball, it's a okay move. It'll work against Psychic types in the late game, but it's not very useful because it goes off our special attack stat. So how useful and how long it's going to be used, I don't know. Mud Slap, 20 base power, 100% accurate. It does have the opportunity to make the opposition accuracy. It drops the accuracy when you hit, and it'll be very useful in a couple battles. Double Team, not going to use Ice Punch. Thunder Punch and Fire Punch are all 75 base power, 100% accurate. Obviously, one's ice, one's thunder, one's fire. This goes off for special attack stat. It doesn't work very well with that, but they will have a use. They will make some battles obsolete. At least that's the goal. At least Swagger, Sleep Talk, not going to use. Swift is going to be used because it's a stab move that we can pick up rather than using Tackle against Bugsy. We can use Swift, and use Swift also against our second rival battle. We'll get rid of this as soon as we get access to Headbutt, but it does have a very small use for a while. Defense Curl, not going to use. Detect, not going to use. Rest, maybe. Attract, Thief. Fury Cutter, Cut. Surf and Strength. Now, Surf wouldn't be bad, but we can't delete it, and like I said, goes off our special attack stat, which is not very good, so not very great strategy going forward. Now, in an optimized playthrough, we can actually pick a move from our breeding move set, and honestly, we might pick a move from our prior evolution. We probably could use Dizzy Punch, but I think I'm just going to avoid that, because we get so many normal moves that there's kind of no point in adding a normal move early. The early game is going to still be pretty effective and pretty easy, but it's about finding something that's going to help mitigate or make one battle or two battles here easy. Double Edge is tempting, because Double Edge you could take pretty much the whole game. It's 120 base power, 100% accurate. With Stab, it's 180. And if you use the Pink Bow, God bless, that's over 200 base power. But it does recoil damage, and you have to deal with that the entire game. And you'd have to keep that, and it kind of makes using anything else kind of obsolete, like Return and whatnot. This is just more powerful, so it's better to use. But it does a lot of recoil, and it's tempting to use, but I'm going to forego using Double Edge. Pursuit is another one we consider. Focus Energy, not going to use. Pursuit does kind of make the second rival battle obsolete, because Dark type moves are very effective against Ghost. So maybe it'll be used, but we'll see. Reversal, not going to use, and Slash. Slash is pretty powerful, crits a lot, but like I said, we're going to have Swift and then Headbutt, and they're both just as powerful as this move, so it's kind of pointless. Double Edge seems to be maybe the play, but I think I'm going to go with Pursuit. That'll make our second rival battle very easy. And like I said, we don't have any event moves. A prior evolution move that would have been useful maybe is Dizzy Punch. I don't think it gets Dizzy Punch in this generation. It's other generations, but this move is available in this generation, so it allows it to be used. So yeah, that's the stats. I think we're going to add Suit to this Pokemon. Let's go and go back to the first slide and I'll give a prediction. Like I said, I think we'll beat the Elite Four in about an hour and 5 minutes, right around that time period. And we'll beat Red around an hour and 20 to 25, or hour and 30 minutes. I'm sorry, hour and 30 to 35 minutes. I think that's the best route to go here. This Pokemon doesn't have a lot of great stats. It's a cute little guy, but we'll see how this playthrough goes. Don't forget to check out my video on Wednesday. Wednesday is not a playthrough, it's an analysis video of all the fire types in Generation 1. We played through, we did some analysis, we looked at the Pokemon, looked at the stats at the time, and we are going to determine who by far is the best fire type Pokemon in Generation 1. I think we all know the answer. This playthrough and these playthroughs really helped us figure it out. Tune in on Wednesday for that. Turn in Friday for an optimized playthrough of Furret. That's what this video was all about. Thank you guys for watching and for stopping by. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good jazz, and comment down below if you have a different opinion of what I should do with the breeding move, if you think this is going to take a little bit longer, if you have a strategy I could implement, go ahead and put it down below. I'll read all the comments. Let me know what you think. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys next time.